8 o'clock, we'll get started, okay? I'll send out the notice to some students who haven't show up yet. One moment, okay? Okay, we'll get started. We won't wait for them. We finished the AP campsite A that actually is mostly on programming structure, program structure, and also on the basic language of the Java language, okay? So now we move on to AP campsite B, okay? Before we get started, let's actually look at our progress so far. So this is the textbook that we use on our website. Okay, so this one show you the course that we had. Sorry. Okay, I'm going to show you the structure of the course. So PDF is moving on very slowly. Everybody hear me? Yeah. A little bit slow. Okay, first, like for AP CSA, we get started for the introduction of the Java. So this is actually the fundamental part. Using object, implement object, a class, data type, decision loop, and array. Okay, this one is the AP CSA part. So it's a fundamental part. Now for AP CSA, let me move down a little bit. It's too much. Okay, this is what I want to show. So basically the fundamental part is the AP CSA part. Now, and then we also have the design of the classes. So this one, this portion is the object-oriented programming. And then we only touch the number 8, chapter 8, okay, the part. And then the rest of them, we haven't touched it. And in the past, even this portion, the OOP is also part of the AP CSA course. But this year, they take it away, okay? So the first half of this course, we will actually still teach you the OOP to make sure that you actually learn enough on here. And then the second half is mostly on the right-hand side. The second part of the AP6B is on this side, the basics data structure, generic classes, and then sorting, searching, recursion, and then Java collections. So this portion right now, we group this whole thing together into the AP-CSB, and then preparing, you need all of these to go to the user code, okay? To go to user code bronze, otherwise you cannot. So basically, this is why we have this course and continue to teach you. But the AP exam, I would say just up to here. The exam is just up to here. But that's not enough when you go to college. That's way not enough. And then there's another portion right here, the database XML multi-threading. This one, you have to learn it in college. And we call it back-end design. The Java language back-end design. Okay, but right now, this one, even not a lot of courses in college will cover it. Okay. So usually to learn this one, this part, the APCSA part is actually right now is only a 1 semester course. The second semester in the past is teaching this part. And now we actually have a APCSB to cover it, this portion and this portion. Okay, but in order to pass user code rounds, you need to have all of these. You need to have all of these, and then maybe another half a year of the practice before you can pass it. Okay, so that's very important. Okay, that's where we are right now. So we will get started to go into the object-oriented programming, and this was a part of the APCSA, but no longer. But because in the future, if you still want to continue to or still want to continue on your college for computer science, then you still need it. Okay, you still need it. Otherwise, you cannot connect to the college course. Okay, so we get started to have this APCSP, the object-oriented programming part. And the first thing we will talk about is the class and object review. This chapter is to talk about the use of object. So in the APCSA, we only cover the class design, and we do not talk about how to use it. So right here, we talk about how to use object-oriented programming, okay? So some language like C language, there's no object-oriented programming. Then in Java, C++, we do have the objects. So the purpose of the object programming, okay. Okay, Harrison, so why we need the object-oriented programming? Hi, Harrison, hear me? I don't hear you. Maybe my microphone. Let me check, okay? How about Jiang? Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so Harrison, your microphone has some problem. I do show you are trying to say something, but I did not hear you. Okay, Jiang, why do we need the object-oriented programming?
It makes like maintaining the codes easier and
How
encapsulation.
to maintain the code easier?
It encapsulates the like structures,
What structures?
like classes.
So with class, how do you get? What do you
What
get?
you can set like private like accessors so you can encapsulate some of the functions inside.
That's not an advantage. That's not a purpose of object-oriented programming. How about Kirsten, why we need object-oriented programming?
So like it's like you can like it's reusable and you can scale it easily. So if you want more, you can just create like the classes and it's already chunked up so you don't have to like edit the code a lot.
Reusable, yeah, reusable. What else?
It's like cleaner code because it's not all in one file.
What?
It's cleaner. So like you don't have all the code chunked up
It's not
together.
cleaner, it's actually more difficult. You don't have object, you actually the code will be shorter. With object-oriented programming, you actually have to handle the classes more. C language is actually cleaner than C double plus. C double plus is a collection of junk. A lot of feature that actually never be used. So in terms of cleanliness, C language is actually lean and clean. Okay, so that's not an advantage of OOP. How about Harrison? Can you talk again? Let me see if you can talk. I don't hear you. I think you have to check your microphone, okay? You hear me, but you have to check your microphone. How about Steven? What is the purpose of object-oriented programming?
I think it makes the things like wait, is it like better security so you can like use the private variables and stuff to store things more safely?
In terms of safety, no object-oriented programming still can do it. It's actually not going to improve anything. So one of the things is actually to maintain and manage the library and shorten the development time. Okay, these are the main advantage of the object-oriented programming. Okay. So right here, we will show you this few chapter. We'll talk about how the objects got grouped together to maintain better library, and also how it can shorten your development time, and how you can make the code reusable. Okay, these are a few things that we'll discuss for object-oriented programming. Okay, so these are the purpose of the, there are more, but these are the basic purpose of the object-oriented programming, but we will continue. We will continue and then let's see. Harrison, where are you? I see you log in and log out. I mean, try to stay home, okay? If you have another best keyboard game, please cancel them, okay? It's not going to work. Stupid. Okay, and then this one we will review the class and object and talk about object-oriented programming as a tool for software development, software library management. So one of the reasons you study object-oriented programming is to know about the software library. So far you learned about the basics program structure, loop, function, and then recursive sorting, you know that. That's the basic APCSA, but that's actually the design inside a class. Is inside a class. Now we talk about class to class, two class, more class. We will talk about the class to class relationship. And those class to class relationship, the main reason is that we want to study the library, software libraries. And why software library is important? Because nowadays you don't write a program from scratch. So you write a program based on a lot of resource that you have. For example, you would use the Java API. So you get a lot of the program from the internet using the API, application programming interface. So for example, you got, let's look at this. You got SQL. You got a lot of things that putting together for Java, okay? So you know that there is a Java software development kit SDK and Java SDK and Java API. They put together the whole environment for you for a Java SDK software development environment and the API. This one. So this one show you the whole environment for Java. When you download the Java SDK, they come with it. And then right here, why we want to study object-oriented programming, because we start to look into the SDI and API right now, okay? So one of the important SDI is this one. So for example, the Java interpreter, Java virtual machine, there are totally 200 different languages depending on Java virtual machine, including Kotlin and Scala, these two languages. Okay, these two languages actually are one of the two languages that's actually written on Java virtual machine. So Scala language. Okay, this logo, Scala. Scala is one object-oriented programming language with design framework. Okay, if you do use the software of the what's that? There is a software integrate with Scala. I'm sorry, I forget the name of the software. There's an IDE. Okay, anyway, and then there's another language called Kotlin. Kotlin is developed by Google. They are all very important language. So first thing you need to know about the environment, also the library, and then you can look into different things that you may benefit because the package, okay, because of the package. So we are trying to teach you the object-oriented programming as a tool for software development. And because you learn this different software library management, you also will learn the Java collections. So these Java collections now become very important. For APCSBD, I think this is the core. So in the past, we only learned the array list. But in this course, we learn hash set, hash table, tree map, hash map, tree set, array DQ, vector, stack, linked list. This we always learn the whole thing on here. So this is one of the reasons that why we want to study the object-oriented programming, because you need to know about the structure of your classes. And then with that, you should be able to study the study for the user code. User code need this, okay? User code need at least you need to know about the map, the set, array list, linked list. I think these are minimum and tree set. These things you at least need to know about this. If you don't know about that, I think when you do programming, you have problem. Okay, you don't have the full capability to do that. So this is also very important part. In the second half of the course, we will touch this. So first we learn about the object-oriented programming, and then we move on to the collections framework. And this is APCSB. And then after that, the third course for Java will move on to data structure and algorithm. Okay, but right now, this course is not the data structure and algorithm course. This one is OOP plus collection course. Okay. Usually this is the second semester in high school. Some high school like Saratoga High also teach this. Okay, Hackers also teach this. And some high school only teach APCSA according to the College Board requirement. But that's not enough. Okay, that's not enough. Okay, anyway, that's actually is the environment that we have. And also we talk about event-driven programming environment, knowing about object-oriented programming, and then knowing about what is event-driven programming, and then look into model view controller design pattern. So these are purpose of this chapter 1. So chapter 1 is to talk about the use of OOP, why we need object-oriented programming. And then the following few chapters will go into detail for object-oriented programming, especially on the class-to-class relationship, okay? The inside the class design, we already done it, okay? Now we move on to the class-to-class relationship. Now, first thing is the object, okay? So object is a data item, okay? So you had a primitive data type, say you have integer, you have double, but that's a single data type, the primitive data type. Object is a group of data that actually may group 2 or 3 or more data fields together into an object, bundled with some methods. So that is the so-called object-oriented programming. You do have these kind of things, but that's not the purpose. The purpose to group these together is because that you want to maintain the library. You want to use OOP as a tool to manage your software. Okay. So now we do have a string, and string has the character add and a substring. So these are the functions that associate with the string. But array, we don't have the character add, we don't have substring, we don't have index, because array is only a collection of data. It is not a class, it is not an object. It is a reference type, but it's not an object, okay? And then in this chapter, we talk about graphic user interface. So we will talk about point and rectangle, and then we will use it. So before we move on to the other things, let's actually have an example of using the point and rectangle. In the past, we do use the point class by our own design. Now today, we are going to use the point. So I'll set up an example of the so-called use point, and this use point would use the point class from AWT. So before you use it, you have to import it. Okay. So let's see, if I try to use the AWT class, Okay, I directly print it out. Okay, I directly print it out, so I got a printout of the Java AWT point. So basically, this point class is not my own design. It actually is a point class developed in AWT. So AWT is abstract window toolkit. So AWT. This is user interface number 1, version 1. Java's version 1 graphic user interface for graphics. So in the old day, this AWT is a very first toolkit for Java to design the graphics. And then later they have the Swing, and then Java FX. Okay. And then after Java FX, actually Java SDK no longer included the Java FX. Now it's an optional item. It's no longer supported. Okay, but in the past, actually, it come with the version 1 AWT, version 2 Swing, version 3 Java FX. Okay, so right here, it actually do cover the difference between Java AWT, Java Swing, and Java FX. These are 3 libraries, 3 graphic user interface used for Java, okay? And then the first version, Java FX is just, Java AWT is just making it usable for the Windows environment. So it's advanced, it actually is abstract window toolkit. Second version, making it possible for event-driven programming. And third one, this one, making it compatible with CSS or HTML. Okay, so this version is very popular for a while, but recently they no longer support it because a lot of things can be downloaded from internet. Okay, but in a way, you need to know about these 3 are the 3 different generation of the toolkit for Java's tool for graphics. Okay, so Jiang, let me ask you a question. Hi, Jiang, hear me?
Yeah.
So these, I think like these different things are actually historical items. These are old already. So why are we still studying it?
Cause those are important. Like
How important they are?
I don't exactly know about AWT or Swing or FX, but like maybe it's like still used today, or it's like the base.
Who will use it?
I don't know, like maybe like really old codes, like traditional ones that lasted for many years.
No, the old code is not using old code is using it, but old code you don't need to study the old code because old code nowadays you may be able to generate by AI. Okay, so we studying the old code doesn't make sense. Okay, Abba Kingston, why are we studying these different things right now?
Um, uh, to learn to learn how they designed it, so you can.
No, these are old already. These are old. Everything is old. This one even is like 10 years ago. Okay, so starting this doesn't make sense, but there is a children, they has a descendant of this toolkit. It's called Enjoy. So the Enjoy Studio actually is built upon this whole thing. They may perform differently, but the function name is the same. So you actually, like, for example, that you have a stream builder, Enjoy also has a stream builder. So basically, you study this different tool, the older tool in Java, Enjoy would do it. You will be able to develop the Enjoy environment. Is that okay? That's why you need it. If you go to study to develop the app for iPhone, you are using the Swift, Object-C. That's totally different things. That's different from here. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And we study this different thing because we want to study the Enjoy system. Okay, so study this is actually the function may be old, but when you move on to Enjoy and Java, you can type the Enjoy and relationship with Java. Okay, so right here you say that Enjoy relationship with Java is fundamental as Java has historically been the primary language for developing Enjoy application. Is that okay? Hello?
Yeah.
So you have Enjoy SDK. Enjoy Google developed Enjoy SDK to enable Java applications. So basically, you have the SDK from Oracle. But Enjoy have Enjoy SDK. You download Enjoy Studio, you will still be able to run a lot of program, maybe with some modification, but you will still be able to run on Enjoy. Okay, and then you actually have a Java virtual machine. Enjoy also run with the Java virtual machine. Your code maybe with some minor modification, you should be able to run on Enjoy system. Okay, so Enjoy also have Java virtual machine. Okay, it's called Delvik. Okay, it's called Delvik virtual machine. Okay. Anyway, I just to try to show you the relationship of the Java and Enjoy. So right here, Wikipedia also have a comparison of the Java and Enjoy system. If you have time, you can go into and study it. Okay, anyway. But that's not what we want to do today. Today, we just want to show you what is the AWT, what is Swing, and what is Java FX. And then the purpose of introducing this is to teach you what is the library that you can use in the Java ecosystem. And then with that, you should be able to move on to Enjoy with your knowledge in APCSA. Okay, that's the purpose of doing that. Okay, so first thing is that we do know about this point class. And then you may also want to use a rectangle, so let's do import. Okay, you also have a rectangle. Okay, so we use two classes that coded by other people. Okay. Here, I just want to show you how to code them. Okay. So here, you don't need to develop a point class. You don't need to actually develop a rectangle class. And then you'll be able to use them. Okay, you would be able to use them. And then because some people already build them, so you be able to use them. That's the purpose of knowing about the library structure and knowing about the object-oriented programming, because then you can take advantage of other people's code. And those other people's code nowadays, people call it API, application programming interface. Okay. Even nowadays, AI has API. OpenAI has OpenAI's API. Okay, so that's what you need to learn. Okay, let's actually continue. Next one is point object. So point object, you import Java AWT that point. Okay, so there's AWT package. And then you have a point, and that point had two data fields, X and Y. Okay, X and Y. So you right here, you actually print it, and you can also do system.out. So you do get X, you should be able to get X. But now there's a question, how can I know about what data field and what method I may have? Okay, so because of that, you actually can do this. You need to have a UML. Unified modeling language. So you check the image. So you got a UML. So from this UML, you will know that your point has an integer x, integer y, and then a toString function that you can use. Okay. Your rectangle has the integer x, integer y, width and height, toString, grow function, translate function. Okay. So Jiang, what is the translate function? What's the purpose of translate function?
Exactly know, but
Hmm?
I don't exactly know, but I think it's like moving it.
Moving, yeah, it's moving. So you have a dx, dy. You move by delta x, delta y, okay? So let's try it. So right here, you are 100, 100, 100, 100. You are at the x and y of the x 100, 100. Width and height 100, 100. Okay, so you print it. After that, your R that translate. You translate 50, 50. And then you print out again. Then you move to 150, 150. This delta x is equal to 50. Delta y equals 50. Is okay? So you actually move from here to here by 50, 50. This is called translate. So what this one tell you is like, you don't need to know about the detail of the class. And you just use the data field they have. So it's plus sign. So plus sign means what? Steven, plus sign means what?
It's public.
Public. So you can directly do r.x you can get a value. R dot Y, you can get a value. Okay, so this is how you read it. Okay, so that's how you, after your class being built, what can you do? You can use other people's class. You can actually modify the data. You can use the function for it. Okay, and you can study different classes by looking at the internet to figure out each class's function and data field. Okay, and right here we don't go into the detail of those classes anyway. So they are attributes. The attribute means your X and Y, those data fields are called attributes. Okay, these are called attributes. And then you have object as parameter. You can use object as parameter. For example, you can print point. Print point is a function that actually will access the point P, and then you print out your X and Y. So you'll be able to print out its X, Y value. Okay. So you can pass your object as parameter, just like any other data type. Okay, there's no problem. And then there's a toString function. You can convert the object to string. This, I think everybody knows this. You can also use it as a return data type. Okay, return data type. Since it's a data type, so your return can return the data type. So sometimes you need two parameters to be returned. Then you can use a location or you use a point to return X and Y both back. Okay, you can also stack it with an integer, but that's more work to do. Okay, this is the same slides that's as the one that we search in internet. So these are okay, and you can find the center. You find a rectangle box, and then you try to find the center point and return the point. Okay, so this one you have the X and Y. The X and Y is the top left corner. So you use a half the width height to calculate the center point location. Okay. Okay, this is finding the center. Now, this one, okay, which one we avoid. Next one, we are going to go into the more interesting part, is the Java two-dimensional graphics using AWT and swing. So AWT is a older package, it's a version 1.0. When Java 1, we already have AWT. When Java 2, we have swing. So Chang, which version of the Java we have right now?
What do you mean, which version?
I say the AWT belong to Java 1, version 1. Swing is Java 2. So what version of the Java is the newest one right now?
Then Swing maybe?
No, Swing is Java 2, version 2. So how about Kirsten? What is the newest Java version that we have right now?
Uh, 3.
No, it's Java 24. So it's way older package. The Java Swing and the AWT already very, very old. Okay. So today the version you are working on is Java 24. The one that you download from internet is Java 24. I think they are Java 25, 26 lined up already. Let's try. Okay, they are newer version Java 25, 26 already lined up. But Java 26 has not been released yet. Okay, but it's keep coming, okay? It keep coming, Java 25, 26 coming soon. Okay. Which version the APCSA will test? This one for Steven. Which version APCSA will test?
Is it 8?
Yeah, it's up to Java 8, okay? Java 8 is the version that actually AP would test. How do you know that it's Java 8 or Java 5 or Java 2? Okay, before Java 5, there is no such thing as T. You cannot do array list or integer. Before Java 5, there's no such thing. Okay, so everything is object. And then Java 8 start to have this. And Java 9, 10, you start to have module. Those kind of things actually AP never test. Okay, actually going too far for students. For high school student, we do not test it and we do not recommend you to study. You will take away you too much time and not going to help you too much. Okay, that's why we try to teach you only the generic programming for Java, and then not using a lot of fancy IDE, because those fancy IDE would require a lot of knowledge that you don't have right now, and that's not going to help you in programming. That just take away your time to study. Okay. Now let's go back to the reality. So this AWT is Java 1, Swing is Java 2. So before we go to the detail, we need to know about the basic GUI. Okay, Java GUI. So Harrison, can you talk now? I still don't hear you, okay? Okay, anyway, make sure you can participate in the class. The discussion is very important, okay? Okay. So Jiang, what is GUI?
I
What is this word GUI?
graphic user interface.
Yeah. So why we need this GUI, study GUI?
It's like the front end of Java, like so it shows the Windows application.
That's because every program on computer, even the browser is a GUI. It's a window, it's a frame. Everybody, even BlueJ is a GUI. So every program that you can see is a GUI. So if you don't study GUI, you are not going to not be able to write program anymore. So GUI is a front-end design, front-end program design. You need to study GUI. If you don't study GUI, you cannot write program right now. In the past, if you write a program purely in text mode, you have A, and then you do Python, and then A.py, and then you get a result 7. That is text mode. But nowadays, we don't do just text mode design. We want to have a program that you can control. You don't want to write a Windows PowerPoint. You want to write a Room program. You want to write a BlueJ. You want to write a lot of things. Every single one is a window-based design. So everything is GUI. And we call it front end. Front end means that what people can see. Back end means database. Back end is the database that you actually hide behind people. So to write a program, you must have this front end, and front end has a GUI. You need to write front end. Okay. So right here we do have this chart. This chart is the classes of the GUI, the AWT, the basic components. So top level you have a class, object class. Object class is the grandpa of everybody. All of the classes. Top level class is object. Then you have component, you have canvas. Some component is like a window is a component, a button is a component. Canvas is the drawing pad, the whole thing is called canvas. Okay, right here, component you have container. Container means that it's a window object inside there. You can put more things into there. It's called a container. One branch of the container is the windows. One branch of the container is a component. So component including button and menu, those kind of things called component. So for container, you have the windows. Windows, you have Windows, dialog, and frame. These are three types of the windows. So this is three types of windows: Windows, frame, and dialog. So Kingston, what is the difference between Windows, frame, and dialog?
The window is like like the app, and then the dialogue is like those pop-up things.
No. That's not a definition here for Java. Maybe for JavaScript, but not for Java. So window means a window. For example, you write a game. That is a window, but you do not have this minimize, expand, exit button. Every app, every program, you do have a minus, square, and cross right here. These are the, if we come with that, that is a frame. If you don't have that, that is a window. So window is a generic frame. Window do not have these buttons. Frame has these buttons. So frame is a window with buttons. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And window usually is used for game, because for game, you pop up with a window, you don't want people to click on it to exit. But frame is like this PowerPoint, you do have the frame need to design a frame. And then you may want to exit it, you may want to get out. Okay? And then you have dialog. Dialog is a dialog box. So what is a dialog? Dialog is like this, you try to find like this is save as. So that's assume that you actually click this one. So this one is a dialog. This file dialog. To find the file name, the one that I pop up for me, my save as, I pop up this one. This one is a dialog. So dialog, there is no minus square, no, there is no such things. But they do have this save and this different thing, and they will enter a file name that you look for. So this is a dialog box. Okay? So I just want to show you what that is. And these are the basic items when you build an app. When you build an app, you need to design a window, JFrame, or a frame or a dialog. JFrame is the swing version of the frame. This is swing version. This one is AWT version. Okay. So anything with a J is a swing version. Is that okay?
Yes.
Anything with a J is a swing version. Anything without J is a AWT version. But they combine together right now. Everybody just use them like a whole tool. Okay. So these are the basic structure you need to know about the classes that you have. Okay, so this is the Java 2D graph. So you actually will use the AWT Abstract Windows Toolkit. That's Java 1. Java 2 have this a swing API. So you have swing Java 2D, okay, these different things added to it, okay? So if you want to know about what is a tutorial over here, we do have a tutorial. You can look into it for Java 2D, okay? Anyway. And then we want to create graphics. So you have a Java AWD canvas, Java AW graphics, okay, draw line, draw rectangle, these kind of things. We are going to use it, okay? So now we are going to have an example and go into the basic one. So first one, let's actually create a canvas. Okay, so I create a class called test window. And this test window, I'm going to print it. So this test window is a class, but I want it to extend canvas. So I need to import. So this is AWT, okay? So I need to extend this canvas. Okay, so inside the canvas, there's a program called pen, graphic G. You need that, okay? That's actually very important. It's a public void function. This one is whenever you print the canvas, you will do this function, okay? So you do not have graphics, so you need to import graphics. Let's use 100, 100, 100, 100, okay? Up to here. So let's talk about what is canvas, what is graphics. So canvas is just like you have the oil painting. The drawing clothes. You draw something on it, this is canvas. Is okay? Is that okay?
Yeah.
How about graphic? Graphic is a paintbrush. So this one say paintbrush, use the paintbrush to draw a oval. And this oval has a center of 100, 100. And drawing 100, 100. Okay, width and height of 100, 100. Okay, let's actually compile. So there's no main program. There's no main program so far, so you cannot run this one. So this one is test window. Let's actually try to use a main program called use test window. So this one is the driver that will use your test window. So now you have the canvas that you want to use. So you will create the main program that's called it canvas. Let's call it test window. Because that's a class name for the test window. Test window is a canvas, so you can specify the S, Y, and Y for it. Or you can specify the name of the drawing. So here, let's do my first window. No argument. Okay. Let's see. Let's don't do it. Let's don't do this one. Let's actually just put it here. Let's just don't use it. So then you create a window that actually is this canvas type. Okay. No, I'm sorry. You need to create a, so right here, let's create a, so let's create a frame first. Okay, and you create a test window. And test window is a canvas, so you put the canvas into the frame. That's what you need to do. So canvas set size 800, 600. And your frame, add your test window into there. So the last one, make it visible. Okay. So the first one, you create a frame. A frame is this. You do have minus square and cross. And then you put your canvas inside there. This canvas is a test window. You put it over there, you add it into the frame. And the size is 800, 600. This one do not have the exit policy yet. Okay, we'll add the exit policy later. But right now, let's just write it, just run it. Okay, so you pop up with a window and you draw an oval inside there. Is that okay so far?
Yeah.
So basically, whatever graphical content you need to put into the pen function of your canvas. And then this frame is the overall window structure. So right here, you cannot close it. You cannot close it because we do not have the exit policy. So you close on this button, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So what can we do? We can only stop it by using termination of the Java virtual machine. Okay. Now we want to set a policy. we want to set the exit policy. Let me try to see the code. Okay, if you want to add that, you need to set default close operation. You need to add this one. So let's add this one in. Okay, I'm trying to give you the idea step by step, okay? So this one is to add a default close operation. So that's making to your frame. Your frame will have a default exit because you want to use a J-frame. So here, let's use a J-frame. If you use the J-frame, you have to use J-frame. You cannot use frame. So right here, let's actually change it to Java X. When you do swing, it's a Java X, not just Java, and then you swing J-frame. Okay, I use a newer version now. So J-frame is a second version. It works for almost the same, but it's a newer version. Okay, now because I add the exit policy, so here I do have this exit policy that it will work now. So if I click on it, it's actually the window is closed. So that's this set default close operation. Is that okay so far?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to go too fast. I'm trying to go slowly. Okay. So this one set up the outer frame. This one set up the inner join path. Okay. And then you add this join path to the frame, and then you actually set up the exit policy, set it visible, and then you would draw the circle inside there. Okay, that's what this one do. Okay, so this is what this program number one. And sometimes we do put them together. Okay, so this is, we have a tester, we have a main program. But sometimes we do put them together. So let's actually have this program, put it over here. I try not to go too fast, okay? So I try to basically go step by step to showing you how to develop this program step by step. Okay, now, originally it's an outside tester. Now I put it, become an inside tester. So we do have a main program as an inside tester. And this test window 2 is the window we want to test. So you create a test frame, let's call it test frame number 2. And then it's a test window. This is size 800 something, okay. Okay, we add a color in there. I try to add the color so you know that it actually is different version. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Let me see, something wrong. It actually is set background color black. Let me use a lowercase. Let me see. It actually is on canvas, it's not on frame. I'm sorry. So this one should be canvas, so it should be TW2. Oh, I'm sorry, it should be TW. Let's try again. Okay, so background color got changed. This one, we add a background color. We put them together in a single class. So your main function is testing your class. Your class is called testing window 2. Test window 2 is a canvas. This canvas will be put into a frame. This program is the same as you have an extra tester. Okay, and your frame just your canvas just right here. One canvas only. Okay. But right here, you can put them together in a class or you put them separately in two classes. Either way is fine, depending on how big your program is. Your program is not big, you actually use this one, that's actually fine, okay? Okay, that's actually what we have to draw the first program, okay? So some object is actually mutable. Mutable means that you can change the value for it. So you can change the X or Y, okay, you can change the X and Y. That's mutable object, so you can do translate. So we already test the translate for you. Okay, that part, I think we would work on it later. Now, next one, we are going to upgrade this one to another version. So this is test window 2, we are going to create another one called test window 3. So we are going to upgrade test window 2 to test window 3. Let's directly copy everything that we have from test window 2 to the test window 3. Okay, this version, we are going to change the canvas. We no longer use canvas. We will use J panel. So J panel is the stream version of the canvas. Okay, I try to teach you step by step so you know what they are. The rest of them the same, but here, this one no longer pen. Okay, so here you change it to pen component. Okay, because they have pen component, they have pen window, they have zip. This J panel have more function. And J panel, we talked about it before. J panel is a swing version of the panel. Okay, it's one kind of a canvas. But it's actually swing version. Canvas is AWT version. Okay, anyway, that is our update to update it to the newer function. This one is pen, but the background color is not there. Let me see, something wrong. Okay, let's test another one. This one's still in canvas. Let's change to a different version. This one, when we run, it is no longer, actually, let's show you one more time. This one, when we run, is no longer show up the right dimension. It actually need you to pull it. Okay, it need you to pull it. That's actually wrong. Okay, that's actually not good. So let's see. So this is set size is the frame, but the whole thing is not going to help you. So let's do Java JPanel set dimension. It's called set deferred size, preferred size. Okay, there's another thing called dimension. Dimension give you the X and Y size. So right here, we are a little bit bigger because we need to set it for the frame. Let me see. Is that a frame or is that the canvas? Let me see. It actually is the panel. Panel is the canvas. Okay. So for the time being, let's just do 800, 600. Let's see. So we start with the right size now. Okay. It start with the right size now. Any questions so far?
No.
So this one is to set the starting size. Okay, so the right starting size. This background colors, there's some problem. Let me see. Background color, let me change to frame. You see? So between the J panel and the canvas, there are some difference. Okay. The two difference is this background color and the set preferred size. Okay, these two things, the difference. Anyway, I just tell you that two different versions of software, they do have such glitch. You have to handle this glitch when you do the programming, okay? No matter whatever new tool you go into, you may see some glitch. So you go to the Android, it will not be 100% as this Windows AWT and JPanel, it will not. So you have to be able to get used to it, okay, in the shorter time. So far, okay. So far, okay.
Yeah.
Now, this one, we are going to, okay, we got that. So mutual object, we will talk about it later. Now, this one, we are going to talk about loop. Loop is to repaint the screen. You have a one canvas screen. You can do repaint the screen. You can hold the screen for a certain session. So usually when you play game, depending on the cycle time, so let's assume that you every 100 milliseconds, your game will redraw the data, redraw the game. So you originally may have a airplane right here. 100 milliseconds later, it moved to here. So you need to erase this one, draw this one, and then erase this one, draw this one, and then erase this one, draw this one. Doing that, you require the repaint. Okay. So this one is the whole setup repaint cycle. Okay. Whenever you do game loop, this one we call it game loop. Game loop always has this. Okay. Game loop always has this. Okay. Game loop always has this. Now let's do this. Now don't use the yellow color, let's use gray color. Here that's actually going to here. So here let's do G the set color. Okay, let's try this one. So background set to gray color. Now the ball I change it to yellow. Okay, that's it. So now let's do this. Let's do put some variable. Let's put a constructor in. Okay, so you have the XY for this test window, and in this test window now we allow the data to be set to 100, 100. Okay, we have two parameter x and y. So this x and y, you have the constructor. So this constructor a little bit like graphics main program. So you can set your initial value for the xy over here. Okay. So now let's actually look at this one. Every time you paint it, you will use your, I'm sorry. You will use your XY to draw it. After your XY draw it, you will actually do X plus equals 5 and Y plus equals 5. Okay, every time you will, your XY will change it. Okay, your XY will change it. Now, before you do that, you may also want to clear the screen. So let's do public. Here, let's do boy clear screen. So you want to have a background color. So here, let's do this. Let's have a constant. So here I no longer use the background color as a gray. I use a PG color. So right here, every time I will set my color to be the PG color, and I'm going to see that field rectangle from 00 to 800 to 600. So this one basically will clean the whole screen with the background color. And I will draw the yellow dot after I clean it. Okay. Now I need to, because right now it's only will draw once. So we need to activate it. So here, okay. We need to add the animation to here. I'm showing you step by step about how to build up this screen design. No, I don't have it. Let me actually try to find an example. Okay, a moment. I try to find a for loop for you. A while loop. So previous one, we just draw a static page. It will never change. Now let's look at this brain game. Let's look at this one. Okay, let's copy this while loop for game loop, starting from here to here. Okay, let's copy it. So let's see, this one is window 2. No, that is window 2. I'm going to use the window 3. So let's put it over here. Okay, so this one is a game loop. So this game loop, while true, we do something. Now let's don't do the don't do this the try and catch. Let's don't do try and catch. These two, let's don't do it. Let's just do sleep. So after your first join, we sleep, and then we actually repent. Sleep and repent. So this one's the canvas, so you need to use a TW. Okay, sleep, repent. While you repent, your X will be increased by 5, and you clean your screen and actually clean by 5. So right here, we want to make it work. So we do, let's have a just count to 10. Okay, so we will update this frame for 10 times. So let's do sleep for 500 milliseconds. And we do that thread. So we need to do import java.thread that sleep that okay, that everything. Compile is an error. Who has the error? Oh, that's past G, don't use it. Bracket G. There's one more error. Thread not included. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. It's actually Java the language. That's thread. Still have an error. Oh, it will need exceptions. I'm sorry. So this one need an exception. It's okay. That's just so that's why they need to have a try catch loop. It's okay, not a problem. Okay. They may have exceptions, so let's just do it. So this one add in here just because it will have exception. But the exception will do nothing. Just like this. Okay. Other than that, this is a normal loop. It will count the counter to 10 and then stop it. Okay, and then stop it. Let's run it, okay? Is that okay? Let's try to go 40. And then each frame time, cycle time, let's change it to 100 millisecond, and let's run it. Now it's faster. Is that okay? So after 40, they stop. Any questions so far?
No.
This give you the idea of animation. Okay. So animation's basic idea is you need to know about the game loop. Game loop, set out the model, hold the screen, repaint the canvas. You look through here, okay? Right here, set up the model, I actually put into the repaint function because you have y increased by 5. But you can put it on the loop level to update the data. Okay, you can update the data at the loop level, up to you, okay? So data model, repaint, and then hold the screen, data model. This one is usually the game loop is designed this way, okay? This one is cycle-based game design. There is also a event-driven type of the game design. Event-driven type means that you do not have a clock time. Whenever you click something, you work on something. That actually is event-driven clock game design. This one is not event-driven. This one actually is BG updating your game loop. So every 100 milliseconds, the screen will be redrawn again. Okay, usually the game like this or a game of the shooting game is like this, okay, it's more like this. So some game like terrorist. Okay, this one is also Tetris. This one is also cycle-based. Cycle-based. Every class cycle, you chop down a block, chop down a block, block on a block. Okay, that is based on this model. Okay. So after class, we encourage you to draw a smiling face or Mickey Mouse. Today we just draw rectangle and draw circle, but there's a draw line, draw text you can use. Okay, so try to create a Mickey Mouse and a smiling face if possible. Is that okay?
Yeah.
For your homework. And the purpose of doing this chapter is to knowing that there are tons of library that you can go. We cannot cover too much because it's only 1 day class. So what we try to show you is what is library, what is a API, what is actually cycle-based design, what is object-oriented programming, what is software library management, what is model view control design. You have a model, that's the data model. Your XY is a data model. Your drawing, okay, is your view. Okay, those are basic idea, very, very, very basic idea. And then you need to put everything together to draw a game. Then that is a so-called object-oriented design. Okay, right here, did we write any class by ourselves? No, we did not write any class. We just use everything from the library. We did not write any single line of the code for my own class. Only the game loop. Other than that, we do not write anything to design a class, right? So we primarily just use whatever people has. So nowadays, because you are moving on to learn AI in the future, coding including problem solving. You go for user code, you go heavy problem solving, and then you go another loop, whatever, you need to learn that. That's actually important. But nowadays, that's not the only thing you need to know. You also need to know about how to use tool and library. Because AI, you need it. It's no longer just solving the problem by yourself. You have to be able to use a tool quickly, use the environment quickly. So knowing about OOP and other programming concept is very important because you need to utilize the tools. All of these, none of these I write it before. I just assemble the program. Okay? That's the purpose of OOP. That's the purpose of AI. Not to totally replace you as a programmer, but to help you to boost up your productivity. Is that okay so far? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. So today we are up to here and give you a short introduction for OOP and graphic design. Okay. Try to design the Mickey Mouse and smiley face if possible. And next week, we are going into the detail OOP. Okay. Detail OOP. to learn more of the object-oriented, to manage a larger library and knowing about the collections as well. Okay? Any questions so far?
Oh,
No, that's it for today. Okay, good night then. Bye-bye.
thank you.
Yeah.